I hope everybody had a great Easter weekend. Look at our Queen's wreath. This is my absolute favorite time of the year when my Queen's wreath is in full bloom. Look at all those flowers that are just cascading out of this arch that my husband custom built from some old trailer iron pieces, and we helped train this up. It is just done so well. And I was worried it wouldn't flower for Easter because it did flower earlier than usual along with my lilies and everything else. But then it did push all these flowers literally days before Easter. So we were able to get our annual family picture under this arch. So over here we have our 2 Vego garden beds. And I have affiliate links to all the products I use, all the discount codes. You can find them all below, down in the description below. But these are our Vego beds. Last time this one was overgrown with all kinds of different things, and I pulled out quite a bit. So if you remember, I had some African blue basil that was taking up basically a quarter of this bed, and then some Aquanoff spinach was taking up the center. So I pulled those out and I actually replanted a tiny bit of the African blue basil back here so it kind of flowed that way. And oh, my turmeric, I did plant it and it was not coming up. Actually, this is ginger. I did plant turmeric over here. It is yet to come up. But here's my ginger. These were just gingers that I bought at the store and just planted. And I've got my kale plant here from a couple years ago. It's doing good. I also have some broccoli, which we did harvest some broccoli from. And I just cut the heads off and I took a few leaves off, hoping that it would sprout some more. Here I recently planted some zucchini, Easy Pick Gold. I thought these were kind of cool, so thought I would try those. I also put some cabbage that I started from seed after a second planting that I did in my big in-ground garden. I also have some dwarf kale that we put over here. And I did put in some parsley over here. It's hard to see, but I put a few plants over here for that. And I'm not sure where I'm gonna put the rest of my kale. And I have some more African blue basil that I want to put in my food forest that I've been propagating. I put some over in front of my daughter's windows, and I put some more in the garden, which I'll show you here in a little bit. I do have a pepper plant here, and I have a little bit of space to put some more things. Just as these grow, they'll definitely take up plenty of space. Over here, I wanted to show you my butterfly pea vine, because look at all the flowers. It's finally just climbing and giving me all these beautiful flowers. The kids and I have been harvesting the flowers when they dry, like this here, and have been saving them for butterfly pea tea. So over here is our GreenStalk garden. This garden has been probably my favorite arrangement of all my gardens. Just the way it looks, how I did 6 plants of these little Siam tomatoes up top here. I've been harvesting a ton of these tomatoes. I've been sharing a lot of pictures on Instagram of these just because they keep giving me tons and tons of flowers and fruit. I've got my bean plants over here that are just producing really well. I want to put more beans in my green stalks. I have lavender that I've been harvesting the buds and saving for teas. I've got sage. I've got some kale. And everything's just doing great. Here's some African blue basil I really need to trim back. That's just cascading out of here. I also have some carrots in here that are growing. I'm gonna pick one while we're here. Look at those cute little carrots. They're kind of early to pick, but you can grow carrots in the GreenStalk garden. Let's see, we've got sage and we've got all kinds of things. I put some more kale back here. If you guys want a simple garden to manage, I definitely recommend the GreenStalk garden. They are super easy to use, American-made company, and they're not really expensive. And you can save $10 off your order with coupon code SD10 at checkout. Over here is our other Vego garden bed, and we recently did a hyperlapse video, which I'll be posting soon, of everything we just picked out of here. I might just flash a picture after I go through this, because it was just overloaded with food, and the girls and I came out here and picked a ton, and there's still a ton left to pick. But we picked a couple onions and a ton of lettuce. We picked some carrots, some collard greens, and we had a full bucket of tomatoes off these vines. These tomatoes are called money makers, and they have been nice producers. Probably what I'll do next time is plant more of these and less of what I've planted in the garden. Here's some of the onions that we recently harvested. Just some succulents here. It's my little succulent stand. Over here is my original herb garden, kind of where I started. This plant's ancient. It's like 7-8 years old. One of my first plants that I've yet to kill. And we've got some basil, some scallions, several different oreganos in here, and that is doing well. Over here I've got 2 more GreenStalk gardens, and recently I had a ton of lettuce in here, which I did harvest, cut back, harvested some more, cut back, harvested some more, and was ready to put my peppers down in the bottom tiers here. So I have different mixed peppers. I have sweet banana peppers, which are my favorite. I also decided to get a hot pepper because my kids are finally old enough to understand to not eat peppers when they're young. Typically, I tried not to have hot peppers in the garden because I had too many times where the kids would pick them and just chomp them, and it was not a pretty sight. So I finally feel comfortable enough to do some hot peppers. Recently my daughter harvested a bunch of eggplants off of here, and we did a little Instagram story, and she wanted to show you how to harvest and fry okra. Not okra. She loves okra too, but eggplant. But I also put in some more kale. I've got some basil in here. I've got thyme, peppers here, and I have some empty spots. Not quite sure what I'm going to put in here yet. But going into summer, eggplants and peppers always do so well in here. I also have some cilantro, and everything's just doing amazing. Oh, I forgot to tell you, GreenStalk just came out with a automatic watering system. So they actually make custom tubing that will attach to your GreenStalk, has a spout in it, and will automatically water your GreenStalks. I have one on the order right now, so I'll be showing you that in my next video. But if you guys are interested, you can go to their website right now and pre-order the GreenStalk waterers, and it is going to be a game changer for the GreenStalk gardens. If you have one, and if you don't, I highly recommend them. You can get stakes if you need them, and those work really well. Over here, I recently used Roes and Flowering Fertilizer by Neptune Harvest, and that really helped because I had no blooms about a week and a half before Easter, and I went ahead and put that fertilizer on my strawberry tower. And I've been having one heck of a time with squirrels coming into the garden and taking my beautiful strawberries, along with birds picking my blueberries. It's been a nightmare. So I don't know what is different about this year, but we have cardinals, blue jays, and blackbirds just literally while we're in the garden or eating, they have no problem coming and snatching our blueberries. But this morning I was actually having my coffee out here, and a squirrel just came up and started munching on my strawberry. So we have been trying to trap them. My daughter put together a video on how easy it is to trap squirrels. So you can look at my short videos for that one. She has become an expert, and it's just been really cute because she enjoys sharing things that she's learning through the garden, and thought I would share that with you guys. So here is my Click and Grow indoor garden. I've been enjoying this. Right now I've got a mixture of salad. I've got some arugula, green sorrel, and some romaine lettuce. This has an LED light that shines for 12 hours, which allows these beautiful plants to grow faster. All I literally do is pour water in the reservoir and forget it. Everything it needed to grow these plants are already in these little pods. And I just purchased some pods right here. They're the new pods where it allows your roots, if you can see that, to kind of dangle down, and a little wick that wicks up the water, so it can kind of give you more room for those roots to grow bigger plants and healthier plants. Over here, if I was out here in the morning, you would see these morning glories, but they just kind of crawl on the ground. They're not really pretty to look at right now, but they are beautiful in the morning. And if I would have known they climbed, I would have put them somewhere where they can climb, but they are vining on the ground. Over here, I did transplant my cranberry hibiscus from the Vego garden bed over here. It was just getting really big, and I kind of needed a filler over here in the garden, so I put that there. Over here, I have my Save the Monarch butterfly mix from True Leaf Market. It's been super fun watching those all come up. I've just sprinkled a ton of seeds through here, so we'll have our own little monarch butterfly sanctuary over here. We also planted some in my daughter's garden over here. We already have some milkweed growing, and we've already had some larvae over there, and it's just really cool to watch and have them learn along the way. And I also planted I can't remember if this is I think it's a watermelon over here. So this summer I'll just have this whole row here, watermelons, and I'll just help keep them straight instead of growing all crazy. I did put a cucumber here. I've never been really successful with cucumbers, but I'm gonna give it a try. It's been several years since I've grown them, so we're gonna try them again. And these collard green leaves are just absolutely big. Look at how big these are, and they're just beautiful. I do have seeds for sale on my website. They have just been huge producers. Like, look at this. That's my hand. Look at that. I mean, you need one leaf, a couple leaves to feed a person. So those have been really great. I have some onions here and some red cabbage. Kind of planted it late, but we're just gonna see what it does. You can still harvest the leaves and use it as cabbage. I think I finished that garden over there. Over here, I'm really excited to show you, everything over here, but mainly my spaghetti squash, and I'm just gonna jump to it right now. Skip over everything else. Look at these guys. They're absolutely beautiful. I've got them growing everywhere. I built this little trellis for them because I didn't really want them going all over the ground. I wanted this side of the garden to have more food in it versus the other one because it's more shaded. But look at them. Look at how big these are. And these are so expensive in the store, and it's just so fun to watch them grow. So that has been very successful. I've never successfully grown them. I used to have problems with squirrels getting them, but so far so good on that. Over here we've got a mammoth sunflower. Look how big it's getting. These can grow up to 10 to 12 feet tall. And I do have these seeds that I've saved over the years from my own flowers, and they're for sale on my website. You can find them along with all different seeds that I've saved over the years. Over here I have Everglades tomatoes, and the birds have just been ridiculous on these tomatoes. As soon as they start to turn red, they're over here, just like with my blueberries and everything else. I've been using these a lot in like casserole dishes and pasta dishes. They're just real easy to just throw in anything. So I've really been liking those Everglades tomatoes, and they will produce through the summer, through the awful hot summer. They are a native plant, and I do have them also for sale on the website. Over here, I have some flowers that are just kind of falling over. Can't really remember the name of these. I will here in a little bit. Here I've got some random zinnias that popped up. they are. They're so pretty. I'll put the name in the caption here in a minute, but I'm just losing my mind here. Here's another Everglades tomato, which is doing pretty good. I also have onions planted all between my plants to kind of help keep bugs at bay, as you can see. Whenever the top starts to lean over like this, actually this one is ready. They are ready to eat when they're just like that. You could even pull them early if you wanted to, but if you can leave them in the ground, it's not too hot, just let them grow bigger. I have 3 Brussels sprouts over here, and I just never can get Brussels sprouts to grow really big. So I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong. If anybody has tips on Brussels sprouts, I'm starting to get a few little ones down here. I really need to spray. Right now we got a little bit of white flies going on, but we also have had just started to get rain, so we'll have to find a good day to spray. Over here I have some dinosaur kale that is doing pretty good. I also have some blue dazzling kale. Look how pretty that is. I just love having purple shades in the garden. It just brings a different shade of color and pop of color into the garden. Over here I have a random zinnia, and here are a few more collard greens. These are like Bonnie Best. I always get a few every year. They're just a really good collard green. They kind of stay off the ground, grow more like a cabbage. Look how pretty these are and how huge they are. So that's real fun. Over here I have some squash growing. These are the buttercup squash. Check this guy out. Look how beautiful that is. That is ready to be picked right there. It is untouched by worms as of right now, so I better get it. But I also have some little ones coming in, and these need to be sprayed with some rescue spray from Neptune's Harvest. And if you guys want to know any of the fertilizers that I use and have been using, you can save 5% on my affiliate link in the description below. I even have a video that I put out on how to use their fertilizers. I'll put that in the description below, but it is raining. But it's all right. My onions have been doing really good. We've been harvesting them. And if you guys want to see what I do and how I use stuff in the kitchen and just the kids and I working throughout the garden, you can definitely follow us on Instagram and check out our stories. I try to post a few times a week of just photo dumps of just things we see in the garden, animals, butterflies, all kinds of wonderful, beautiful things. Over here we have some carrots, and we had this whole row as carrots, but we are coming down to the last little bit. I also planted a cantaloupe here, and again, just like my watermelon, I'm just going to try to train it into a row. So this summer we'll just have a big row of cantaloupe, hopefully. I have built this trellis here to be extra taller than the antique railing that we have below, because these are climbing beans and they're the yard beans. So these will be the long beans that grow to about a size of a yard, and these have been fun to grow because my kids like to pick and show who got the biggest. I rarely show you guys my backyard garden because usually it's just a mess, and I let the chickens kind of free range back here. Thankfully the chickens have not found this amazing squash. This is actually the same squash that I have in my garden. It's the scallop squash. I've got quite a bit in here that are growing, but look at how massive this is and how beautiful the leaves are. This was one of my first raised beds ever. It's just an old water trough my husband picked up from somebody that didn't want it, and we have just through compost, and the chickens have been in here, and the soil is just right. Also, these are asparagus. Look at the asparagus growing. This is a plant that's about 4 years old, and I've kind of kept it back here because I get so many weeds growing throughout it, and I just haven't figured out where I want to put this asparagus. takes about 3 years to produce. So finally it's producing, and literally the asparagus grows faster than I can come back here and pick it. So this is something I wish I definitely would have started earlier in my gardening life. Now I just need to figure out where I'm gonna put it. Over here is a bunch of propagated plants that are just random that I grow to add to our food forest. Over here I have some okra. I love okra, but every year I try to grow it, the nematodes just come into the garden, and then I have a problem with it making my plants unhealthy. So I vowed to never plant okra in my garden. So we have them in these raised beds back here. We're gonna just kind of let them be wild back here during the summer and save the seeds. Not really planning on picking a lot, mainly for seed production. Back here are some potatoes that were not getting enough water, but I did just pick some the other day, and we've got a bunch of these tiny little ones, better than, you know, none at all. So when I planted these, I didn't have the irrigation kind of hitting it just right. And I have planted some sweet potatoes here. Back here is where I keep my compost, my extra pots and whatnot, and it is just wild back here. I have some comfrey on both sides. That was another plant I had in my Vego bed that was kind of overtaking the bed. So I actually split the two and planted them here. These grow so fast. I actually harvested enough to make some comfrey tea, which is basically free fertilizer. So I have it brewing right now, and as soon as I am done brewing it, I will share a video of how you do that. So hopefully you guys can maybe do that in the future as well. But I'm gonna try to run through this video really fast. Up here, I wanted to show you my African blue basil and its glory, because look, this is just 2 plants. And it's just going crazy, cascading out of this metal bed. I have some curly kale from like last fall or 2 falls ago that's still producing. And I'm gonna run over here and show you my orchid that I got last year for Mother's Day in all of its glory. I just stuck it in this tree and it bloomed a few weeks ago. So that was fun to see. I also have some more Siam tomatoes that I have started here. And here's my daughter's butterfly garden. Looks like it's full of weeds, but there also have beans along that back fence. She has some butterfly weed and some blanket flowers. And then this is a spread mixture of the Save the Monarch butterfly seed packets that you can get at True Leaf Market that are going to be super fun. Hopefully we'll have some flowers to show you in the next video. I just realized after editing this video, I forgot to show you my dahlias. Look at how pretty that is. There's all kinds of bulbs coming up. These have been really fun. And I hope you guys can see the screen, but it has been absolutely beautiful out here on our farm, in our garden, and I hope that you subscribe if you're not yet subscribed, and we'll see you next time.